Dr. Vedder, you hammered on higher education today. Is that from experience?
It is. I have spent 43 years as a professor. I've learned all the tricks of the trade. There are a lot of deficiencies with our higher education system. It's a good system, but there are a lot of problems with it. It's very costly. It needs to be corrected. One of the problems is a transparency issue. We don't know a lot about what is going on in our universities. We don't know what the kids are learning. We don't know a lot about the finances. Legislators and other policymakers are in the dark.
It's a little bit different forum, but is it possible to go see, for example, the Ohio graduation test today, if a taxpayer wants to go look at that?
To look at the test itself?
Yes.
I suspect it's very difficult to do that.
And how do you get at the question? You'll hear from Governor Strickland and many others, well, the test doesn't really mean anything.
Well, if it doesn't mean anything, then it's why are we giving it? If it's not meaningful, then it's a scandal. If it's not meaningful, we ought to make it meaningful. We ought to have standards at the secondary level. A third of the kids that enter Ohio high schools, more than a third, don't graduate, and another third don't go on to college. A lot of that is because of inadequate preparation at the secondary level, and the graduation tests are put there to help raise those expectations to get higher standards, and we should be doing that.
We are at the ALEC conference, the American Legislative Exchange Council. Dr. Vedder, you've just received the Adam Smith Free Enterprise Award. Representative John Adams is joining. If you could both, Representative Adams first, if you could speak to what ALEC is about and why you're here.
American Legislative Exchange Council. It is a terrific conference. It's the first one I've been to. First publication I've read is not from the doctor, but I've read some of them, but it was the Rich States, Poor States. And it's why I introduced the legislation on eliminating the income tax. So it's a great conference. It brings a lot of people together that share the same philosophical ideas, and I look forward to the rest of the conference and listening to great minds such as Dr. Vedder.
And a lot of folks, certainly in the press corps, but some others too, would say that eliminating the income tax is kind of pie in the sky. Can it be done economically, and can it be done politically?
I would think yes on both, and I would love to hear what the doctor would have to say about it.
Well, Ohio is one of the highest tax states in the Union, fourth or fifth, depending on how you measure things. We used to be one of the lowest tax states. We went from being low to being high precisely because of the income tax. And because of all of this, we are a basket case economically as a state. We need to do something to improve things. States without income taxes have higher rates of economic growth than states that have them. We in Ohio have we have a high income tax that on top of which are piggybacked local taxes at the municipal level and even the school district level that in some cases bring marginal tax rates to 8-9% or more. That's unconscionably high. Our nearby states around us have much lower rates. We're losing business to them. Ohio is bleeding. It's got to do something. The income tax can be eliminated over a decade or so without a sweat.
Talk about transparency and how you see that. How do you get good data out of the government, and then how do you get people to pay attention to it?
Doctor, go ahead.
Well, you can compel the data. I mean, governments are great about compelling people to do things, rightly or wrongly. I think most cases wrongly. But this is a place where the government could insist on things. We have, for example, open meetings law in Ohio, which is a good thing. We can extend that concept further. Why isn't every check written by the state government of Ohio posted on the web? That would be one just simple kind of thing you could do. And we should be doing that at all levels of government. And there's no reason we can't. And all it does is, all we have to do is tell the bureaucrats to do it. They'll say, oh, it's going to cost us money, it's going to be expensive, it's going to be this, it's going to be that. Most of these arguments are bogus. We should just make them do it. We make them do a lot of other things. Make them do that.
Representative Brinkman was the gentleman who brought it to the House floor. It was voted on, it passed. I believe it is over in the Senate in Senator Kerry's committee. And let's pass it. Let's get it out there on the web, and let's have it at every level, from the high school superintendents clear up to college.
And you're speaking of House Bill 420.
Yes.
Well, Dr. Vedder, congratulations on your recognition today, and thank you both for joining us.
Glad to be here.
Thank you.